BRUCAST is back, baby.
This BRUCAST episode is brought to you by the BRUCAST Store. Explore a store filled with awesome goodies from hoodies to t-shirts to mugs. We've got you covered. Stay in style with BRUCAST. Embrace the shock, set the trend. Visit now brew-cast.com/store. Link below.
Back with the fire, can't you see the flames? From Deutschland steps comes the BRUCAST name. Voices like thunder breaking all the chains. Unleash the fury like a runaway train.
Alright, hi everyone, welcome back to another BRUCAST episode. If it's your first time watching the show, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're listening to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please rate the show 5 stars. This will ensure that the podcast recommends to even more people and allow me to keep doing what I love. BRUCAST also on Instagram, X, and TikTok, where I upload shorts with the highlights of the show. So follow now, BRUCAST on Instagram, X, and TikTok. Links in the description below.
Back here we thrive, we survive!
Hey there, BRUCAST fans. Welcome back to another BRUCAST episode. If you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. As you heard me correctly, please leave a comment. I want to read all of your comments. I want to see what you think about the show. So please let me know. Without further ado, let's welcome our guest. Her name is Jade Arthur. How are you doing, my friend?
Hi, Brew. Thank you so much. I'm doing great. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much for being a guest. I was eager to talk to you, get to know you, and for many reasons, right? First of all, you seem like a wonderful person, but you also help developers get jobs in the gaming industry. And oh my God, how do you do that? I need to know because, as far as I know, it's impossible
Oh
nowadays.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting really bad. All kinds of people in the gaming industry are getting laid off. And I don't help just developers. I help artists, narrative designers, game designers, anybody that really is creative and wants to get into an industry that right now is just like it's just such a struggle. And so I'm there to give them an understanding of maybe things that they're missing to get the attention of recruiters.
Why would you say it's so hard to get a job in the gaming industry nowadays?
Well, companies are laying off people due to AI, like many places. Companies are folding. Their games didn't maybe get the revenue that people were expecting. Even if a game has great reviews, if people aren't buying it, it didn't make back what the investment was. So it's there are so many factors involved here. It's hard to determine, but I think it's companies are taking fewer risks and choosing AI for different positions.
Ooh, fear risks, AI, and man, those games they cost so much. It's like I know for Hollywood for sure, the movies are like big. They're big risks. Every single movie, in my opinion, that Hollywood makes is a gamble, right? They never know if it's gonna pay off. Would you say that's also the case for the gaming industry?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's true for so many artistic industries. You have the best intentions, you know what your audience wants, you know that what you're making is something amazing, but as we've seen, just because something is great doesn't mean it sells, doesn't mean people want it at the time it comes out or even know about it enough to invest their time. So we have movies that come out that are cult favorites years later, and that's probably the same thing with games as well. Sometimes it's just not the right time. It just didn't find the people it needed, and it's a shame because again, you're seeing products coming out that are great, that draw people in, that have rave reviews, but didn't bring in money. And that's just not doesn't work. I just saw something today about a company that released a Squid Game Unleashed, like a video game of like Squid Game. I haven't played it, but I saw it on LinkedIn, and I think the company shut down, even though the game had great reviews. And it's just like, how sad is that?
Doesn't sound fair. I'm sharing some screenshots
Yes,
here with the
that's the
audience.
game there. Yes.
I mean, it's Squid Game, which is a phenomenon, right? And
Yeah.
looks fun. It's colorful, like Fortnite. So all the players, the the younger players should like it. Like it sounds like a no-brainer in my mind. It's just like it's gonna be a hit for sure. And you just told us that the studio shut down.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's what I saw. The company closed. That's what I saw, and it's just like, you know, I don't I don't know if it does it show it in the news there because like I said, it is LinkedIn. That's usually pretty true, but I mean, I just don't like. Again, I think it boils down to people just looking at what they know is going to make enough money sustainably. And yep, there it is, the mobile game studio. Yep. And it's at Netflix. So because Netflix did Squid Game. And yeah, it's just like this is Netflix. And they were like, this wasn't enough for us. So what is? How do you know?
I'm gonna read the news here just for our listeners. Netflix shuts down Squid Game, a mobile game studio. So this is from October. Oh, whoa, it's from this week. You're right.
Yeah.
It just happened. Netflix has shut down Boss Fight Entertainment, the studio behind its hit mobile game based on the Squid Game franchise. The two games the developer has released for the streamer, the Netflix Stories, which has already stopped releasing new titles earlier this year, series, and Squid Game Unleashed will continue to be available via Netflix. So, yeah, great. The game's available, but the studio's gone. What doesn't sound like healthy, like healthy industry.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Oh my God. So, I remember during COVID, right? Uh, so just I think we talked a little bit about it, Jade, but I work in the game industry, right? And at the time I was at Ubisoft, and
Oh,
in the and things were blooming. Like everyone was playing, everyone was buying games. I remember it's like that's the biggest and best industry in the world. Like nothing can ever go wrong. Because and I also remember looking at the stats at the time, and like there has never been so many gamers before in history, and it looks like that's still the case. There's even more gamers nowadays. So would you say that there was like a boom that happened during this time period, specifically because everyone was at home? I think kind of makes sense, right? And now that everyone's back at work, they're I don't know, but at the same time, there are more gamers. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit confusing.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. When you have time to be playing these games, it makes sense. That's like if you can't go to your job, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Might as well pick up a game. I don't know the numbers or the statistics like that if there was a boom, but it certainly makes sense to me. After if you're not making any money and you can't go to your job, like you got to do what you have with you. And
Yeah.
dusting off an old game for your Switch or your PlayStation may have just sparked something that you'd forgotten about and something nostalgic in you. So, it's I, technology has obviously changed vastly in
Yeah.
a short period of time. And, people want to, figure out how to make this all work. And I think gaming is one of those things that, much like everything else, is figuring out how can we get the people that we need and we want, but also we want AI too. How do we find that balance that's both economical and fair? And like you said, if there's more people that come into it and you've got all this AI, it's like, well, we have a couple of jobs for you, but we also have AI, so it's like we can't hire everybody. It's tough. It's tough to get into an industry like that.
So, what's your views on AI? As far as I know, Elon Musk just announced that he's opening a game studio which will only develop games with AI, as far as I understand. Like, what's your view on the whole AI part?
Well, I mean, I see it like a tool. We use it
So,
for what serves the purpose. I think if things are faster, the same quality, easier, and sometimes even better, I totally understand it. I help it with like I use it to help me write posts sometimes. I've gotten great ideas from it. I mean, from ChatGPT. Um, and so I get it. I think it's fantastic. I love it, but I also recognize that since I do work with I do work with artists, they are the ones that I think right now are really facing some of the biggest hurdles
mm,
because art is so surprisingly easy to make with AI. Yes, there are flaws with it, but it's advanced already quite a bit that artists are just like, well, what do they have now if ChatGPT and all these AI platforms are just going to kind of create these interesting and weird amalgamations of the art that they've spread out over the internet. How do you how do you deal with that when, like I said, it's cheaper, it's faster, it's easier, and sometimes it's better, How do you deal with that? And I think again, we have people that are adamant, no AI. We have people that are open to it. Um, I'm always a person that was very stubborn with technology. I didn't like to text. I didn't want to text. I didn't like changes. I got my first credit card like last year. I didn't even want credit cards, honestly.
they
I
complicate
like
things. I agree.
for me, they do, but and I still am not crazy about him. So I get it. I am stubborn as hell. So I totally understand it, and I think much like anything else, if it's helpful, great. There's a way to work with it. We just haven't figured it out. And to outright say no, I understand. Um, and that's great if you can find work by saying no to the thing that most people use and that's helpful to them and could be helpful to you, by all means, everybody's got to carve their own path. It's just very hard to say no when so much of what we're doing is AI, and most likely jobs are going to potentially require it depending on what they do and the need.
I agree 100%. I agree, especially when you say like it's a tool, and it's like at the end of the day, that's what it is. I remember when Mid Journey came out. Like for those who are not familiar, Mid Journey is also a AI which generates art very easily and very good, in my opinion. I mean, if you know the prompts, I mean, it requires certain skill at the end of the day, but it's not as hard as going through art school, And I remember when it came out, I was like, concept art as a career doesn't make sense anymore. I mean, I believe, that's my personal opinion now, right? I should believe that there's gonna be like art directors will still be necessary. There's still gonna be that need of someone in the game industry, that specific game company, dictating how the game should look like, the vision, have some understanding of like different aspects of how the final product should look like, in order to direct other artists who are just using Midjourney. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I explained it correctly.
I think I have the idea. It's much like it's getting the right prompt. It's
Yeah.
knowing that you got to have people to cultivate the kind of designs that you want. Otherwise, you're just kind of going in there trying to figure it out. Maybe you have an idea in your head, but without a clear understanding of
Yeah.
what the specifications are, what it's going to do, how it
Mm.
needs to look, what to avoid. It's hard to know, and we are always going to be um, learning how to prompt. I think is probably going to become a skill now,
Mm.
because it is the results that you can get when you have the right prompt are incredible.
Yeah. And if before they needed 100 artists to develop a certain game, now they're gonna need maybe five, in a good art director. But this art director, he's still gonna be needed. This guy is gonna be the one telling the other ones what is good, what is not. Because if you don't know where you're going, like in a project visually, let's say, you're not gonna get there. You're gonna maybe stumble along the way into different art styles, into different things, and at the end of the day, you're gonna have a mess, a visually mess. So I think you're still gonna have someone directing the crew. So, but maybe less artists below that person. Yeah. So people still gonna be necessary. I don't see that's again my vision. I don't think there's gonna be 100% AI generated games. Actually, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't want to
It's
be
a
that.
tough call,
Yeah, it's a tough
right?
call. Yeah.
Right? It's a tough call, you know? There could be, but we have to determine, well, if that comes out and that's great, again, it's technological advancement. We're always going to try to make things better and faster and easier with technology. So, does that mean that now getting a job in the gaming industry will not exist? Same with film. Will that not exist? When, who knows? I've said this before, my job can be irrelevant in a couple of years, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to try to find my balance with it and target an audience that I know could use my help.
So let's say you have a someone who just came out of university who wants to join the game industry as an artist, and he comes to you and say, "Hey Jade, could you please help me?" How do you help that person? What do you say to them?
So, most of what I would start with is understanding how to use LinkedIn, because it's not something that I really understood before until I started to need it. And I really understood that, yes, it has a lot of flaws. There's things I would love to change and make it better, but right now, it is the hub for finding connections and creating opportunities. You might find a job there, but it's really more about what you can do to, make opportunities happen. I wouldn't be here today without it and talking to you. So, um, what I would help them with to start is understanding not only LinkedIn, but also knowing their vision. What is their mission as an artist? Are they trying to, do they just want a job in game art, doing character art, doing environment art, concept art, whatever it is? What kind of art specifically? What is your dream game that you want to contribute to? How will that be different than everyone else's art that's applying for the same job? What is your approach to the art that you do? What are the tools? All of these little things help the person understand that, yes, they can do this particular style and genre, but they're going to do it in this way because this is what they can make the best impact in. And I say this because, I started off teaching ACT, SAT college entry exam skills here in the US. And then I kind of pivoted a bit into teaching English online. And I found, just from my own experience, it's hard to find your audience if you don't understand specifically what you offer, how you differ, what makes, what specifically your audience is. It's very difficult to make, any money. And so that's why I ended up figuring out, okay, I like gaming. I understand the power it has for making education more enjoyable, more engaging, and I think I can understand this audience, but I also have to make a brand around something that targets them. And that's how I became a language and mindset coach for job seekers in gaming. I love language. I have written many, many things. I have a bachelor's degree in English. I've dealt with depression and OCD for many years, and I've learned mindset tricks to help me. And I want to help job seekers in gaming because there's a real need there. And specifying that makes me feel like I know where I fit now. I know how I can approach things differently. But to just say you're a 3D artist or you're a concept artist, okay, how do I know you're the right person? You're the best person for the job because I like the way that you think. I
Isn't
won't
the portfolio the thing that answers that question?
how you present the portfolio.
Oh.
So you can have some beautiful images on there. You can have some game designs, But again, that person goes there. How do they know exactly what you did to make that happen? They don't know the tools that you use. Sure, it can look beautiful, but I mean, anybody can put on a same thing on their portfolio and say they did it, you know?
Right.
um, but I think with this, it's more of showing the process of what you actually did to get this result. What tools were you using? What kind of styles did you use to create this imagery? Um, how did it form your thought process and how you went into it, the hours you spent and how you used those hours? What was each step that you took to make that happen? So the more that you break it down in your
Mhm.
portfolio, the more you're telling a story. And that's what recruiters resonate with.
Mm, interesting. So you show that you're real, basically. That you know your craft, you know what you're doing, you know where you're coming from, where you're going, and this conveys confidence, I assume.
Confidence and
Yeah,
the fact that you, like you said, you know what you're doing and you'd be qualified for this position. And not only that, you'd be great for this particular company because of their culture, what skills, what traits they want in a person. You've shown that through the way that you have set up your portfolio.
that's so interesting. I studied with Mike Azevedo. I'm not sure. Have you heard of this guy before?
I feel like that name is familiar. Yes.
I'm gonna share
Yeah.
with the audience.
Oh, oh, him? Okay, okay. No, I'm not as familiar with him. No. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love creature art. It's like my favorite of all the art. I love. 'Cause I'm a Pokemon fan, of course. I love creature art. It's so cool.
Maybe no, he did not draw any Pokemon, but this guy, he's an amazing concept artist. I think nowadays he's an art director of his own art studio in Brazil, and we studied. I think he was like 1 year in front of me at the Game Design University in Brazil, and I forgot where I was going with all of this. No, I remember. I a long time ago, like 10, 15 years ago, I asked Mike, like, what's the trick, man? How do I get the job I want? And he told me, Bruno, you need to laser focused on the position, the company that you want, but like exact the position, company, exact the type of game that you want, and go after that. But you need to be laser focused on that. So I see some similarities from what he told me and what you're saying right now. And I apply this principles. Like, I want to work at Ubisoft in Germany, and a couple of years later, there you go.
God,
it works.
congrats! That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Wow, that is awesome. What a great story.
So, guys, the principle works. Trust Jade. It's real. Well, she's know what she's talking about. Is there a name for this principle? I just focus. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Mm,
Having a mission statement is how I kind of say it. Like knowing what it's like a one sentence mission that you understand what you do specifically, who you do it for, and what you want to achieve. And by doing that, that's your core sort of guide to help you figure out which jobs you feel that would best fit and which ones would be like, I'd love to get any job, but doing it here, it'd be nice, but I don't know if it fits all the things that I really am going to need in the long term to make this sustainable for myself.
I see. When you say you need to learn how to use LinkedIn, what do you mean by that? Because for me, LinkedIn is, I'm gonna be honest, it's a huge pain in the ass. I don't like using it. It feels so fake, but maybe that's part
Yeah.
of the game, right? Like, that's my approach. That's my opinion. What do you think?
Well, you pretty much just said it. This is something that I think I saw somebody else say, and it's something that stuck with me. Treat it like a game.
It's a game.
Because that's what it is. You're connecting with people. I have over 9,000 people in my network now because I understand that, you clicking that connect, the more that you get people to connect with you. Listen, somebody that has over 9,000 people versus somebody that has 900, regardless of whether that person's more successful, people are going to see the person with 9,000 and think that person knows something. And it's just perception. But sometimes that's part of it. It's, re- you know, having fun, connecting. I see it as Pokemon, right? You want to catch them all, but you also want to build a great team. And so in within that amount of people that you're connecting with, there's going to be some people that really resonate with what you're doing, what you enjoy, where you want to be. And so it's about finding your team, but also making sure you get as many as you can. LinkedIn has a limit of 30,000 connections, so you can keep doing that as long as you want up until 30,000. And so it's like, again, it's a game, but it's knowing that there are some creative things that you can do when you understand the language that resonates with people and that expresses your value to them.
Well, I just sent you a LinkedIn connection invitation.
Oh, woohoo! Yay!
All right, so
Yay!
thank you, for
There he is. Nice.
there you go.
Accepted.
I'm playing the game, guys. So it's all about getting to know people and give this impression that you're all connected. And I think that's makes a lot of sense because there's this actor Christopher Waltz.
Soft waltz.
Yeah,
Yes.
Christopher Waltz, the guy from Glorious Bastard.
Yes.
He's an amazing actor for sure.
He's intense. He's intense.
He's intense. And I was watching an interview the other day because I just rewatched Glorious Bastard. Such a good movie. So I was watching his interview and he was saying that although he considered himself a good actor, he's been the best at his craft for many years. He had always been stuck and forgotten in Germany. And what he meant by that, he said that that's his statement, right? It doesn't matter how good you are, it's just matter who do you know and who you don't. And as he said, as soon as he met Quentin Tarantino, his life changed because all of a sudden he knew this director who recognized his value. So again, going back to the LinkedIn game, you might be an amazing artist, but if you don't know the right people, it doesn't matter, right? You're just Christopher Watts forgotten in Germany. So
Right.
yeah, there you go.
Exactly. Yeah, and to know people, you got to at least be able to just, click that button and try to connect with them. And the better you set up your profile, the more likely they are to accept.
I see. So do you also contact talk with those folks, or you just have them as friends, or it depends?
Which people? The people that are looking for jobs, or what do you mean?
I was asking more in general when it comes to the LinkedIn game. So which instance do you actually reach out to people?
Well, I reach out to job seekers to let them know,
Okay.
that I'm open to work and that this is what I have to offer and how I can help. But I also have a community called the Job Search Joy Community, and we've had a few people from me contacting them in talent acquisition that have actually showed up and gave their free time to answer job seekers questions about what they look for in resumes and how they go about recruiting people. And that's what I want to continue to do, is to get people in talent acquisition that really kind of demystify some of the things for job seekers that they're not sure. They're concerned about the ATS trackers, declining their resume because it's not keyword optimized. They're concerned that, like, there's too many people, there's not enough jobs. So the idea is to, contact the people that I know that I can, and this is something that I feel everybody should do if they want to find work, is find a way to approach them in a way that will be mutually beneficial for the both of you. Not something where they get more than you do necessarily, or you get more than they do, but something that you are not just giving away your time. You're not saying, hey, I need a job. I'm not going to be desperate. What can we do to help each other? And it takes some creativity sometimes to do that. Um, but promoting the company, tagging people in your network for their jobs when they post them, um, you know, showing that you can do something outside of just your job or the job you want that can give them opportunities or exposure, and just make a great impression on them. That's going to help you get seen by them and realize, oh, you're a real person behind this profile. You're a nice person. You have a really great professional presence and portfolio, and you could be useful to us. I think most jobs now, if you don't have some marketing and promotional skills, they're probably not going to really be that interested in you. So when you're behind the desk and you're a designer or developer or whatever, and you're used to being behind the scenes and not really on LinkedIn, not really promoting yourself, then that needs to become almost an essential part, because the better you make your brand, the more people are going to want your value, what you bring to the table.
So you need to promote yourself, show to others how valuable you are.
Exactly,
So,
and promote them as well, get them in on it, allow the places that you are excited about to be seen by others, because again, they're not necessarily going to have a job for you right now, but you're visible. You're keeping them there, and anything that you can do to help them. If you see that they've got, they're raising money, or they're looking for somebody for a volunteer opportunity for charity, or they've got a new game coming out, and you're excited about it. Don't just look at it as I'm excited about this game coming out. Look at it as this game's coming out, guys. Let's get excited about it. Let's really help them be successful. Be their cheerleader, because if you want to work for them, they need to know that they've got the support to stay afloat during this very economically crazy time. And you being there to promote them can help with that.
wow, that's wonderful. I have so many more questions. Jade, let's go into a short sponsor break and we'll be right back. Is that okay?
Awesome.
All right, see you soon. Parents, have you been searching for an app that's both fun and educational for your kids? I've got something exciting to share with you today. It's called FunTastic Plus. FunTastic Plus is a free app where education meets entertainment, designed specially for children ages 2 to 12. It's built by experts, completely ad-free and totally safe, so you can feel confident handing your phone or tablet to your little ones. Inside the app, kids will find a world of engaging content, their favorite cartoons, audiobooks and songs to spark imagination, educational games that make learning fun, and all of that to keep them entertained while supporting their development. FunTastic Plus is available on iPhones and iPads and even works offline, so whether you are on a road trip, flying, or just at home, your kids will always have something to enjoy. So if you're ready to give your kids a space that's both fun and educational, download now FunTastic Plus for free on the App Store. FunTastic Plus is a safe and ad-free educational platform for kids. Link on the description below. All right, and we're back. Thank you so much for FunTastic Plus, our channel sponsor. Go check it out. It's a lot of fun. I'm sure your kids gonna enjoy it, and you might even enjoy it as well. So give it a try. Jade, so during the sponsor break, we're talking about the other side of the coin, right? What would you say to someone that approach you and you can see that they're maybe it's a long shot. They might not make it. How do you approach this delicate situation?
Yeah, it's a good question, because you know probably more than they do, and what they're not doing, but they don't. So it would depend on how they'd approached me. If they were like, very rude or something, I probably would either I might consider blocking them if they were really rude, or just kind of saying I'm not interested or something like that. But if they were nice about it and they were curious, I would say, well, your profile isn't really making me feel like I know who you are. That's something that I tell a lot of people that don't have a bio section. Like, yeah, you have this great art or you have these designs, but I go to your profile, I don't know who you are. And that's something that I think is missing from the way that people do LinkedIn a lot of times, is they don't look at it as this is part of their narrative, what they put forth. And so if you don't have a narrative, if you don't have a vision, then it's going to be hard for you to get any kind of work, because you're just doing the thing. you love it, and I know you have passion for it, and I've heard that word a lot, passion and passionate, a little bit too much. But if you don't understand how that passion formed, what you're doing to cultivate that passion, and where that passion is going to lead for yourself and for the companies you're interested in, you're not going to really stand out above the competition. It's not
Mm,
impossible. You may have great connections. People that, are not that talented may have connections and get a job because they know somebody. But if you don't, and you don't have those kind of connections, then you've got to manifest the best version of yourself in every aspect of your application. And that includes your profile.
whew, it's a lot of work. Yeah.
My
But I mean,
tagline
at the
is
end of the
it's
day,
yeah. I was gonna
go
say my
ahead.
tagline is it's time to job search differently because that's how I see it. We live in a time where we have seen a lot of changes, obviously, with how people apply to jobs. And most of the time, you don't just go in and hand in your resume or just quickly apply. You have to think of it more strategically, but also look at it in a way that how can I make this something I even if I don't love it, something that I can find enjoyment and accomplishment in and be productive in so that I can get closer to my goals. That's why I feel it's time to job search differently.
I agree. I agree. That's wonderful. Well, I'm grateful that you're doing what you do, Jade, because it's necessary. I read the other day that nowadays, because of AI, right? We touched on AI earlier on the podcast. Because of AI, there's a lot of people that are applying with AI, and a lot of companies who are using AI to review those applicants. And there's this there's shadowy AI war happening in the background between people looking for jobs and people trying to hire. And at the end of the day, that was the conclusion of the article that I read. No one's getting hired because of. Have you heard about any of this? Is this true?
I think it's like the ATS, the applicant tracking system, that kind of like if you don't have the right kind of words that match the position in your application, it may reject you. I don't know exactly how all that works because I haven't been in HR or talent acquisition. Um, but at the end of the day, you know, it's yeah, you need to be aware of that and do what you can to include words strategically that it would pick up and recognize this is a person that would be qualified for this role. But at the end of the day, they're not just going to choose somebody because a resume has some words in it that match. They're going to choose a person that they want to be a part of this team. And that means that rather than just thinking about the surface level words, you have to understand language, the language of yourself, your offer, your value, your mission, your genre of work that you do, your tools, your approach. There's all of these different things. I look at it as like paving the way: perspective, approach, vision, and expertise. When you understand how all of those kind of work and how to specify each one, you can help pave the way to have the kind of career that matches what you see, that comes with, oh, I got to do this now. Yes, it's frustrating, but again, otherwise it's more playing the lottery, and you want to be able to give yourself as many chances as possible. So knowing those things is going to be easier for you to make those connections and get closer to the opportunities you want and even make your own opportunities happen.
So perspective, approach,
Vision and
vision
expertise.
paved the way. I see. There we go. So there's a way, guys. I without going through a lot of details, right? I know interns in the game industry that tell me, Bruno, like, I just cannot find a job. And from what I'm hearing from this interview that we're having right now, there's a way. You just need to be a little bit more attuned and aware how to do it, how to navigate this way. Yeah, and we are learning here on Brewcast. Thank you so much, Jade. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Listen, it's tough. Even if you do these things, there are no guarantees. It's more of just what because when you do this, it's like really understanding yourself so much more so that when you're applying, you at least have those questions answered in yourself of where what am I doing with this? Like why am I love this, but like why do I love this? Why do I do it in this way? It answers a lot of questions for you. And like you were saying earlier about focusing in on one place, it's about understanding that alignment so that you are not targeting places that are just short term. There are no miracles, at play, but there are, like I said, there are things that you can do to make those things happen.
Let me run something by you.
Sure.
A colleague of mine, he was trying to get a job in a certain company, and it was just impossible for him. So what he started doing it instead, he's like, okay, so that's not on the table right now. I cannot get in that company right now. I'm just gonna create my own version of their games, and he started releasing his own versions of their games, but it's like with slightly variations, so it's not a direct copy. And I was wondering, let's say that for whatever reason he decides to apply there again, right? And they look at his profile. How do you think the fact he's already developing his own versions of his own game would be perceived by this company? Would they see that as, wow, this guy is super motivated, let's hire him right away? Or no, 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 this guy, it's danger, like he's dangerous, it's a competition. Like, what do you have to say to
Uh,
this guy?
I mean, first of all, I'd have to know like why he did it exactly to like copy, like not copy, but like do a version of their games. Like he just loved them so much he wanted to find his own version of them. Then that's what he needs to tap into because otherwise, it does seem like he's doing that is competitive for them. So he'd have to really show he's not competition. He'd have to show the reason that he did this and emphasize just how much that place inspired him and in the ways that they inspired the way that he approached design. Um, and show why he would still want to work there if he's already created his own versions. So there's a lot of storytelling that needs to be done there for him to be seen by them as okay, we get it, and we see how you would fit because at this point if he's making their games other than being paid for it, like what would make it be like he still needs to work there? He already has done his own versions of them.
So we go back to the narrative and how you present yourself.
Yeah, yeah, it's just like it clearly was inspired, and understanding that inspiration, what choices he made because of that inspiration, and how that's going to benefit the company. Maybe he made some improvements. Maybe he troubleshooted things and he recognized this wasn't working. I know how to do that, and I want to do that on future games with you. Whatever thing that he could show through that work that would be something that they would need, that would solve a problem that they have, that he's noticed, then they could see this person being fit for their company. He really has to sell that he's still a good choice for it. He's not competition. He didn't do anything, illegal or anything. And he really does want to take this to the next level with them.
I see. Whew. Yeah, I won't go into details about this acquaintance, but the thing is, he just needed money, right? He was not finding a job, so he decided to create his own games
Yeah.
with the hope of getting some money. But he's still open anyway. So it's all about how he presents himself, the story that he's
Yeah.
telling to the company, how he can fit into their culture, because the culture is also something that every company takes into consideration, right? They have their
Yeah.
own cultures. And as far as I know, some of those hiring managers, they also look into the person's Instagram, Facebook. They search for their name on the internet to see who they are for sure. Like before anything, before even maybe calling them for an interview, because they want to be sure that it's the right cultural fit.
That's right. Yeah, and it's hard to know a lot of times what that is when you go to their website, because this is something again that I tell people is not only to have your own vision, your own mission statement, but to know what the company's is and understand how they match, how they align. And when you go to a company website, sometimes the company does a great job spelling it all out for you, like Blizzard. And then other times they just give you a few sentences, and that's like, this is what, this is, we want to make great games for a ton, for people from every age or something, and it's very vague. So your job ends up becoming, how do I interpret the language they use to represent themselves in a way that aligns with me and that I can then reflect back to them through my own experience? So you're looking not only, yeah, Blizzard. Yeah, you're looking not only at, if you look at their about there and you click the go down there, they have their vision, foster joy and belonging for everyone. Um, that is their vision. They could have said anything, but they said that. And then, yeah, foster joy and belonging for everyone. It's not about making great games. It's about joy and belonging. So how do you emphasize that in the things that you do? They have their core values where they go into more detail about what that means for them: strength and diversity, boundless curiosity, better together, passion for greatness, for the love of play. They define all of that. And it's up to you to not only read it and understand it, but interpret it effectively, where you understand, like, okay, this is how I am already integrating this in what I do. And that's why we'd be a great match. I want to continue that mission for you, that those values for you. So using that language, not only just the language of the position, but the language of their vision and their mission, can give you an edge.
I want to know which are Game Freak's company values. Let's
Ah,
see.
yes.
The Pokemon Company International, about us. The Pokemon Company
Yes.
International managers, okay. Or core values, there we go. Oh, it's a video, guys. Oh,
Oh, yeah. And then they have passion for Pokemon because, of course, dedicated to quality, challenging the expected, building relationships, integrity and respect, and delighting customers. It's great. So they made sure to set that up so people would understand where they fall. And not everybody is going to have a passion for Pokemon. They may have a passion for gaming, but Pokemon is like, if you want to be in the Pokemon Company International, you better really like some Pokemon, you know? I like challenge the expected, like what people think gaming is, what it will be, and understanding that you need to find a way to look at it from like a different perspective in order to create either better quality games or just more unique experiences for consumers.
yeah, beautiful. So there you go. You imagine you have you are like in a call with the Pokemon Company, and no, I don't have passion for Pokemon. Oh, I like Digimon better. Like what? You need to show that you belong to the team, right?
Come on.
Going back to Blizzard, you need to like show. You need to be yourself. I think that's my opinion now. That's my take now. Be yourself, right? And if you really care for diversity, then apply at Blizzard. If you're really passionate for Pokemon, then apply for Pokemon. Because imagine if you're lying and then you get into the company, you're just gonna hate yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Fall in love with the games that they make. I mean,
yeah.
you probably already enjoy them if you're applying, but really, if you have played them, really understand what made them worth you investing your time to apply to this company beyond just enjoyment. What made this be like, I have to work here because of the way that they have created this game in this way.
Jade, let's go back to the Pokemon core values. I would like to highlight this one, dedicated to quality. I have my doubts seeing the latest Pokemon release.
Mm.
For those who do not know, we're talking about the new Pokemon ZA or Pokemon ZA. I don't know. I think the correct term is ZA.
ZA, yeah.
ZA. And I have my doubts on that one. Have you seen the latest game?
It's on my Christmas list. I'm going to definitely get it and play it. But even when I heard it was coming out, it wasn't one that I was big excited about because it's been 3 years since we've had a mainline game, and I'm itching to get some new creatures. So
It looks fun for sure with the new.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know if it's new. The whole
Mega Evolutions.
the Mega Evolutions are new.
No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they just added new ones, but they haven't had Mega Evolutions since Pokemon X and Y, and that's what this is. This is like almost like a remake of it, but not, but like tied to that world, the Kalos region.
Yeah. Have you played all of them?
No, I have not. I mean, I've had a little bit of experience with all the mainline games, the ones that were brand new regions. I had the most fun with Fire Red and Leaf Green, but like I also really enjoyed Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness for the GameCube, which most people don't even really talk about that or remember that anymore. I loved it. I've even really enjoyed Scarlet and Violet. I loved that they finally created a world that was so expansive and just fully realized as much as it could be up to that point. So I want to see more of what I saw in Scarlet and Violet, even if it wasn't perfect. I still really enjoyed it.
It was a super fun game. I really
Yeah.
like it as well. Yeah. I was playing with my ex at the time, and my gosh, we had so much fun. We got all Pokemons, right? We bought it at the same time. That's the thing about Pokemon, right? That's another of their values here. Building relationships. For me, Pokemon, as fun as it is just by yourself, it multiplies. The fun aspect of it multiplies by 1,000 when you're playing with friends. It's just so much more fun to catch and share stories and battle with each other. Like, there's no other game out there. I never played Paul World, the Pokemon
Our
with,
world.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how fun it is. I know it's Pokemon with guns, but can you like trade? I don't know.
I don't know. For me, I am really like I am a monster catcher through and through. Like that's my gaming world. I've tried a bunch of them. There was even one with my name in it at one point called Jade Cocoon. And so I've played a lot of monster catching games over time. And Pal World, I'm like, man, the creatures in there are so cute. I just want to catch them. I don't want to shoot them. I don't want to shoot them. Come on. I can shoot people fine, but like the monsters, no. Give me a ball. Let me go get them.
Oh man, they're super cute. I
I
think they
know.
got sued, right? I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah, some of the creatures did look a lot like Pokemon, and to a certain extent, I understood it. But yeah, it's just like yeah, the shooting is cool if you were always like, man, I wish Pokemon had more guns, but I just never went in that direction. So yeah.
You mentioned one of my favorite ones, Fire Red, Leaf Green, Gale of Darkness, Pokemon Colosseum. I play so much Pokemon Colosseum. But at some point, I just had the Pokemon fatigue. I was trying to catch them all, right? I need to catch them all. And I was trying to transfer them from the GBA to the Nintendo DS and then to the 3DS. And at some point, it was like there was 1,000 Pokemon. I was like, I'm going crazy. And then I took a break for a few years. And came back to Pokemon Scarlet, and the magic is still there. It's still amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
For me, as long as it works, I know for a lot of people there were a lot of glitches. I played it on the like Switch handheld. I didn't really play it much on the big screen, but like for me, I didn't mind. It still worked great, and I just love that I could finally like the idea that you could traverse these lands and go up rock faces and find new areas. It was like, wow, just the world building was just insane to me. And I really want to see more of that.
Yeah. And I think that's why they keep getting away with it, because the core mechanics are so good that they just
They are.
don't give a damn about the visuals anymore. I mean, they do, but the minimum, you know. And it's as a Pokemon fan, what it's so annoying is that I love the games and I see the potential. I see how far they could take it. They could make, like, how much they spend with the last Pokemon ZA? I think 13 million. That's nothing. That's nothing for the biggest franchise in the world. 13 million, that's nothing.
No, it's not.
They could spend at least 100 million and they would still get break even, I'm sure. And they could make, I don't know, I'm just I'm just raging here. So
No, that's okay. I understand. Yeah, you think they would spend more. Pokemon is just unbelievably popular, and over the last decade since Pokemon Go, it's really exploded. It seems like in popularity. So I'm happy. I see all kinds of people, doing their little jokes and memes and little things. And I love it because I get so much of it because I've been invested in it for so long. And yeah, I've had my times where I wasn't into it either. The first game that disappointed me was Diamond and Pearl.
Really
And I did, yeah,
disappointed you?
yeah, yeah. I didn't like it as much. It was fine. I played it a lot. Don't get me wrong. I still played it a lot, but yeah. Also, the show changed, and that was really that. Plus, the show really affected me because the show, it lost some of the main characters and brought in characters that I didn't connect with.
Yeah.
And the games, it seemed like so many of the creatures were just evolutions of previous Pokemon, and some of them were just stupid. Like Tangivine and Lickalicky. I was like, Probopass. These things were like, what is this?
Tangivine? What?
Yeah. It's a E. Tangevin. It's Tangela's evolution. Oh,
Let me write Pokemon. Maybe that helps.
I think that was it. And where is it? Did I spell it wrong? Maybe I said it wrong. I thought that's what it was.
There's so many of them. Oh, this guy, you mean?
What did I call him? Yeah, that's him. I must have called it something wrong.
And Groove.
Grow. Oh, okay.
Groove.
I called it. I don't know. Sometimes I get the names wrong. Sometimes, like, there's over 1,000 of them. I'm not going to get them all, but I do know many of them. Tangrowth. That's what it is. Yes, Tangrowth. I mean, yeah, the one in the middle doesn't exist. That one that I know of, that doesn't exist. It's the last one over here, and it's like, okay, like, did we really need that? Did I need Tangela to evolve into something with more, like, vines? I don't know. Look up Probopass. Look up Probopass.
Probopass. Oh, yeah.
What is this thing? I mean,
I don't have a problem with him. It's fun. He has, like, nose hair.
Yeah, but it's like, for me, I just love cute and cool. And to me, if it's neither, I don't want, like, Nosepass is already silly, but this is just, like, stupid. Trubbish. Yeah, I don't like
Let's make it
Trubbish.
that. You don't like Trubbish. He's cute and small.
But okay, that's fine. But then you evolve into Garbodor there? Like, that's gross.
All right, Jade, what is your favorite one? Don't say
Arcanine.
Pikachu. Arcanine. Okay.
Arcanine.
Okay. Arcanine.
That's my baby. That's my baby. I love I have a plush of Arcanine. And Umbreon is number 2. I love Umbreon. And those to me are Pokemon that are, well, cool. And Umbreon's cute. I mean, those are exactly what I would want to catch. I love dog Pokemon. So any dogs, I'm like, that's got to be on the team.
I was talking with a buddy of mine the other day, and we were discussing which Pokemon John Wick would have, and that's Umbreon. Like, John Wick is, what's his name, the actor?
Keanu Reeves.
That's Keanu Reeves' Pokemon. That's the conclusion that I reached with a buddy of mine.
Makes sense. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, but there's so many.
What's your favorite Pokemon? Might as well ask. What's yours?
Oh, it's the other guy. I forgot his name. This guy. Otaru.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then when he evolves, he's like a little ninja with the little shells. It's so cool.
Yeah, I love Samurai. I know that you may not, because it really changes the design. I love Samurai.
I don't. Oh, the last guy.
The
Mm.
last guy. Yeah, I think that's a really cool design. But if you love the otter thing, so I can see that throwing it off for you. But
You
I
like
think it's a cool evolution.
you like him because he's going more into the dog direction again.
Exactly. Exactly. We have all of these starter Pokemon that start on two legs and then stay on two legs. And it's like, no, I want four legs. Like, if you started with a cat, give me a big cat. Don't give me like, like Tora cat, which is just like, I want a big cat.
Wow, Jade, we went in a huge fun tangent through here.
Oh my God. Listen, I could talk about Pokemon all this. I just appreciate the chance to do it here.
I do have one more question regarding how people can find jobs in the gaming
Yeah.
industry, how you can help them. As far as I understand, you create this search jobs villain, like a job search villains.
Yes.
So what is that?
So basically, when we're in our job search, we have all kinds of challenges that we face, whether it be, doing cover letters, making a good profile, making connections. And so what I did was what I call like concretize or make concrete the villains or the challenges that we face so that you can see them and it's easier to be motivated to overcome them rather than them look like something very vague. So for example, when I talked about mission statements earlier, one of my villains is the mission statement fog. If you don't have clarity on what you're doing moving forward, you're in a bit of a fog. So, knowing your mission can help you get out of that fog and have clear direction. There's also the bio section bully, which pummels you because your bio section is weak. It doesn't represent you, and he's able to defeat you because you're not really showing him that you have a strong representation of yourself to take him on. The cover letter crusher, again, crushing your cover letter because it's generic. All of these things are just representations of what they're going through, but also like, yeah, I'm able to better understand it when you see something that makes sense. Because if I were to just tell you the challenge that you're facing, it's a lot easier to visualize it and even like I said, gamify it where it's like, okay, I took this guy down today. I got a little closer to my goal. Let's go on to the next one. Let's take down the next villain. And it's about knowing yourself, finding yourself, being a better job seeker, and making the job search more enjoyable in the process.
Yeah, it's the gamification of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, one small victory after the other. This keeps the motivation high, and you keep doing it. Yeah, that's what you need. So, Jade, would you say what's your vision for the future? Do you think it's gonna get easier over time or harder over time to find a job in the game industry?
Mm. Well, that's a tough question because I really don't know exactly how AI is going to fully show up in these roles. We only know now that yes, it's taking away jobs. It will create new jobs, but will people want those jobs? I don't know. So do I think it'll be harder? I think it'll be harder before it becomes easier, but it's also going to be is even if it's easier, is this still what we want? Like something could be easy, but it may not really be all that valuable anymore. So I can't really say how it's going to look, but what I will say is that in order to be successful, to be successful, but to be the best version of yourself, the job search now needs to become different to you. It needs to be a place that you recognize, you know, courses now need to be done about actually job searching in this economy. Like it's when people understand how to job search better, and that becomes more like in general, like it's not even you don't even have to think about it anymore. It's like schools are bringing it in, and people are understanding that this is really a job in and of itself. Then the job search may still be hard, but now we are better prepared. We're able to actually represent our brands, represent our best selves, know what we really want to do here, rather than just hope for the best because we like what we're doing. It's it's a journey of branding, of manifesting, of just bringing to life what you know you can do, but also what you know is going to make the biggest impact for you in the way that you want it and the way that other people will too. So I think it will be harder, but it's going to be harder if people don't recognize that they need to learn and educational institutions don't recognize that they need to teach it.
And if there's a will, there's a way. If someone really wants what they want, they're gonna look for ways of getting it. And but if they know the way, the pave way, like the skills necessary, it makes things easier for sure. All right, Jade. What a wonderful conversation. I really enjoyed getting to know you. Do you have any final messages to the audience?
If I were to say something, it would just be choose to choose to find joy in the job search and choose to recognize, like, it's only awful or boring or frustrating if I don't choose to find a way to make it fun for myself. So you might be here a while in your job search. Find a place that you can stay. Get those needs done, those survival needs met, and make this process as enjoyable for yourself as possible. You're in for a ride. Let's try to make it a fun one as much as we can.
Beautiful. Jade, thanks so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you. Appreciate it.
All right, everyone, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Again, leave a comment and I'll read all of your comments. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. If it's your first time watching the show, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please rank the show 5 stars. This will ensure that the podcast is recommended to even more people and allow me to keep doing what I love. Check out now the BRUCAST store, Explore store, filled with awesome goodies from hoodies to t-shirts to mugs. We've got you covered. Stay in style with BRUCAST. Embrace the shock, set the trend. Buy now at brew-cast.com/store. Again, that's brew-cast.com/store. Link on the description below. Be a BRUCAST model and get free stuff. We'd love to see how you and your loved ones enjoy BRUCAST. Snap a picture of yourself, your family, your friends, or even your pets wearing BRUCAST merch, or watching an episode of the show, and send it to us and become part of BRUCAST. We'll feature you and your pictures at the end of every episode, just like the ones you're seeing on the screen right now. You can upload your pictures at brew-cast.com/contact or tag us on social media. Alright everyone, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much and see you next time. Bye bye.